And your mommy was established yesterday night. One, Paris Saint-Germain are trying to overcome a certain tango biane show for some years. And then I made emphasis on it, say, only one particular club are OP team ba kwa ye omo free mupa in the second leg of the Champions League. Abra omo take a 2-goal difference to the away game now. Then say and nana pressure say ya bo omo sododo. But I think say they handle the game so well. There are moments within the Champions League games I fancy the Maria. Sure. A very important at the any single team be about the Champions League.
Okay.
Oh, me who so be dominating an entire knockout round. The opponent in the moment. For example, Liverpool, Paris Saint-Germain were Paris. Paris bo game ni na. But Liverpool in a moment be me wa. Moment no munya Liverpool this year say
1-0.
The return leg. The first 15 minutes to 20 minutes in Liverpool dominated most of the phases of the game too. It created chances, baby. But Paris Saint-Germain at the moment in our day. So the most important thing about the Champions League is about how you utilize your moment. There was a 15-minute period for Aston Villa. And then the season game ni BBR, they would have qualified. So 15 minutes period no. And a game ni be 2-2. E be 3-2. And Chebian yesadi Rashford free.
That change in na as a fans in the BNC as a DNT manager ni Rashford the frame. And
Rashford is also having a very good record against Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah. From the days at United. And I do maybe can Paris Saint-Germain for the believe say some more ton Kylian Mbappe.
So more for.
I was some more for Marcus Rashford deneba. And na will grow into the game ama game na be seen beti. Including Amadou Onana. I know you are free more. I know the Marco Asensio buy because he feels Asensio with the experience. Yes, it's true. But I strongly believe that Kobetima maintaining Asensio, Marcus Rashford, and even have Oli Watkins on the field.
Chasing game there.
If you're chasing the game, you need such a result. And where the difference between how Luis Enrique Abo Drew baby, a coach is so Drew baby, and some of the decisions he will not take at certain point. And I think Enra, one of the mistakes I will not Emery on the career in terms of taking that decision. And it shouldn't be happening again. And I do know a dinner no. But I'm happy for Paris Saint-Germain. Say or taking the opportunity to overcome sa shackles na show mo kon den no. Or mati team no mo dia gun chain baby. But I fancy the tactical game between Unai Emery and Luis Enrique and Ra top serious. Top notch. I've seen Paris Saint-Germain midfielders control the game, dictate the pace of the game, and create from the middle of the park. But I'm no more be in the game. The rotation among the three midfielders. Just say you could not even see Nipa no 6. So on your screens, you could see where Paris Saint-Germain players receive your passes. It's Fabian Ruiz, João Neves, Vitinha. Fancy, Fabian Ruiz are receiving most of passes, the left part of the pitch now. João Neves ni Vitinha.
Also, no, dominant left, left-footed.
But João Neves and Vitinha. Look at the number of times Omumi decided when they drop it. You see the synergy and understanding between those two. It's only a matter of time because Omususa. Imagine some ball who want to do 24-25. Fancy, they will be difficult to break down. And I think Adebakwa, a Timi Boa, Paris Saint-Germain, Pano, this thing. Can you retaliate on a camera, Combe Home, including John McGinn. Fancy, John McGinn is not your extravagant, talented player, but on the field of play, I don't think any player ever more the level of commitment and energy he gives you. Or know your skill full midfielder or far more than another for balls to be John McGinn, yes, sir. But young carry ball, no, young tackle, and fancy. Total carries 16, 6th in the whole game. You got 22 players no more free bench by ya. Or more carry ball and do pan. John McGinn toss set. Then Obama share a total progressive carries. You can carry the ball, but I tell you carry now or carry no. And yeah, a progressive play. And fat ball no compound no any move bebre. But the total progressive play in this particular game, or the third best player in this particular game. Game my boss man in the belly with good carrier of the ball, total progressive passes, any carries or Hakimi, or Nuno Mendes. In the same game, no, or Morgan Rogers. And in the Aston Villa game, no, and I season near Aston Villa Dino, oh, Pobi or carry ball or Kamubi. And even progressive carries is there. But you have John McGinn bossing an European League with that numbers now. And I feel Matthias said the entire coach will be about team in frame. Aside that, he recovers so well, he comes back so well, and will be defending. Because checking the total defensive actions, Makumako 11 among the 22 players who started the game, plus one free bench by or the 6th best player in terms of the total defensive actions, interceptions, tackling. Samuel Manini, he has been there.
One to me, 101.3.
Super performance, but I think there's a thin line between expectations and reality. And the expectations of Aston Villa was that he better qualify. But in Champions League, moments will always define what reality is. And then reality dawned on Aston Villa, Abraham Timmy qualify. Away from that game, I think say Oshe Borussia Dortmund FC Barcelona game now. And also betre and Nyoma Mienubi. One, Barcelona is beatable. Number 2, Barcelona will need to pick up the pieces as soon as possible in terms of mental toughness, especially playing in the knockout stages of the Champions League now.
Say, Anya Inter, Ebeye Bayern.
Asem no.
Beshia Barcelona.
And Omono on transfer session 4. Now return leg no abetiti ahye no. Debi. Ano abetiti na ababeka achiri debi. Ono bo 2-legged ni na finchim pape. But me cite an example be my wenra about Barcelona left backs in your history. And I heard Rafinha was literally off without Alejandro Balde.
I said no coach no so ma Rafinha bar right and Lami Yama won call left.
Because Nippon over complementing Rafinha and Gerard Martin only ho. It say who now fullback no be complementing and then switch. Tactics, they switch to get the best out of each other. Yamamu just to create something. But mistake we man in be BM so about Araujo and Kubasi as the centre back player.
No, Martinez and so yellow card away from suspension.
They are aware, but man in be BM see money see BM. And on probably man in fit because Tiasemo Kubasi in the Barcelona setup and on the left centre back. Inigo Martinez. And Kubasi the ball as the right centre back. Now we are Araujo ball as the right centre back, and you Kubasi did about the left centre back role. And in terms of building from the back, Araujo, he is not your perfect passer of the ball. Only ball passing. Araujo is aggressive, good tackler. You trying to show your police 1v1 or better wedge on my own call. But Barcelona building from the back. So on multiple occasions, you saw Frankie de Jong dropping deep in between the two centre backs, so nobody may initiate the build up from the back. And anytime you bring us out one, Dortmund went with a 3-back system. It's almost overcrowded the midfield. So 2 double number 10s and answer wingers no move inside. No, a press Frankie de Jong, then there will be trouble for Barcelona. It is a boss up pay way be more. Team be oppressive, be a better team. Any team be a better pressibian or better team.
To me, 101.3.
And Obetti Mukwe you Araujo as the right back. Meaning the entire you lose the bar Barcelona no more use as a centre back. Because when you say Xavi on, there were some games that they used him as a centre back because he's so much comfortable on the board than Araujo. It is a summer maker with pressing. She hit map near that screen. Once say in fin a yellow deep, Frankie de Jong because only the only player na Barcelona could initiate the build-up form. Tomu nyina good so normal pressing and overcrowded that particular position. and omo de Barcelona pa. I think within their shape and whatever they wanted to do, fancy enra a test for them to understand say omo team no invincible. They could literally lose some games, but I think they will need to have their setup right going into the semi. And I mean suradi and enye me hu say metena ha say aka say Arsenal will qualify ahead of Real Madrid. I don't care. But the entire me na make a story na sem natural money say in the last 3 seasons in 2021-22 ano cars has them me. Because before that nothing they about the quarter sama Real Madrid I think Paris Saint-Germain asana mako bo City in the semi-final asana mo de call the final ko yede ekoje against Liverpool show 1-0. Or from Nambuza a quite mention Real Madrid because of team no in the league we know they are getting results, but in the Champions League they look quite poor. I don't see there be Real Madrid ne Barcelona game no. So Barcelona share Real Madrid by 4 goal difference me fan to me trim say Real Madrid by the Champions League no. Same way Abu Dhabi ne me dance ni. Because also na me tiny ne ko fie na sa ko ne ye dey. E bye. It's Barcelona share Real Madrid 4-0 because the whole season Real Madrid had not lost a single game at the Santiago Bernabeu when it comes to the league. And Barcelona share Real Madrid by 4-0. That was the only game Real Madrid lost in the league at the Bernabeu. I'm also Real Madrid by the Champions League. I feel what can I say there be assembly and Real Madrid will win the Champions League. It's Paris Saint-Germain every day. I think the first leg against Real Madrid. Real Madrid be dane any or Bernabeu. And City share Real Madrid by 4-3. First leg. And the return leg, Ombe lead by 2-0 be a Rad Mahrez. It's a go. And some later on.
Gonna comebacks in a year.
Comebacks in a year.
Chelsea so bad.
And Chelsea so bad. It will study here. The first leg of the knockout stages from the quarter-final and the corner round of 16. Now Madrid first leg.
Eddie can go home.
Wait. Okoswa.
Losing.
Obahoma.
Yeah.
And Real Madrid the Champions League. Fast forward in 22-23, Real Madrid lost various home games in the La Liga, and it was clear. But Yamere 23-24, Real Madrid the Champions League no almost La Liga. Real Madrid lose to Timbe. Real Madrid lost only 1 game. Now against one Atletico de Madrid. Beboa. Copa del Rey no almost lose to Atletico de Madrid. The man told me the same thing against Real Madrid will win the Champions League. So we lose to Atletico Madrid.
And I win so they no catch up.
Fancy. Real Madrid cannot win the Champions League.
The same person and a catch.
They say Real Madrid cannot win the Champions League. They won't win the Champions League after we. What are the results of this game? What are the results to say be Arsenal Bayway and Arsenal Bayway? What am I say? The only thing you told me point blank and they say after Real Madrid will not win the Champions League. Debbie. Real Madrid will not win the Champions League. Me obi a megenio medi. Ana obi frame ta kan se bi kire me ana to bi nyani nyina na megidi. Se bi me e badwemba. Me de kwa adwen mu no ma yede. But okato aso 2 na esi 2 na I was like ada ni pay ni dia na Real Madrid ye ne soronko a. E ma Real Madrid timi sacrifice. O se Real Madrid sacrifices do mo ye ne yehu. De e dia ni injury no. Real Madrid sacrificed their game against Barcelona. They sacrificed their game against Atletico Madrid to win the Champions League.
They no be lose eno. No,
because that season no new teha. First leg no man say 2-1. Buso bia say we are mu nyina say one and another adwen ne say Barcelona be share Real Madrid sa game no. Memphis the pay money payment group stage Real Madrid and team qualify for Barcelona team qualify out of the group in the Champions League. So season na Madrid forecast say some Barca for no em say they be almost share 5 so we and some 5 ni bia. Look at how that game Barcelona won it. Barcelona more here more counter attack na no ba mayanga bobo na to net. Na ko Atletico Madrid game no share Real Madrid by 3-1 no. Never goals a PMU in that particular season against Real Madrid. Ne ko Copa del Rey no goals a City fast so buy.
Want to me 101.3.
Fancy. And the supporters ne say Oma ko share Real Madrid war Marcelino Santa Maria Street. And here, ultra for no penifone woman it did not want to tighten up on it. Now, Papa Marcelino, yeah, I can't want him. No, I didn't but 2 streets in the sono. Obi Spain and Castle Modro your portrait. No, Obi no no ya the channel. But Adiba Kwana man Demusun Konya said, no, you're very religious. It is from the Borgias Cathedral, more or less like Catholic churches in the more do no more dini bino. A ho, and yet take Papa free. On the quite a quambe artisan quampa, commuji 2 years ago, father. It said in the 2 street be so to baby, I almost believe he said a good omen, and answer or you'll be an empire bokosro. And besides, ko Saint Crown and Kefena money yakebe. It anytime Real Madrid one match a more dimbiano a hono musha Real Madrid team Barcelona.
Marceliano hono.
A ho. No more so more. But fancy. Ye come for Real Madrid. Ye can't send be the Real Madrid. But ye shall ye be kakra. Oko Spain ye will be order of Isabella the Catholic. Now order of Isabella the Catholic no. Or more or less no more 3 preeminent orders of merit with Spain. Millionaire come on. Order of Charles III, order of civil merit, and no, he established it in 1926, and he established order of Charles III in 1771. Now, in Chebiana Mikel Arteta, in that particular knighthood, no, Nipa is considered as the Grand Master, the King of Spain. It is in Chebiana Mikel Arteta, or more friend, no, a bono, sa particular basobody, no. Or the order of the knighthood.
As any international break.
Yeah, international break now.
And I take a course.
And I take a call back.
Because the King of Spain, yeah, say induction the man.
It is spiritually. Real Madrid is strong there, but you're also coming up against somebody who's also strong. Fancy. A bad tactics are Real Madrid into me moasna. Many new team. Me Real Madrid own team moasna tactically. This season it shows clear. Real Madrid are prone to mistakes at their backline to they concede. And your mommy and son Arsenal they share Real Madrid set pieces. Individual errors at the back line for Real Madrid. And at the level of confidence in how we control the game. Sound your mommy and son way. A move back open Real Madrid bet me year free. Controlling of the game. Controlling of the game the crown. Real Madrid ain't team control game way 90 minutes against Arsenal. They can't. Real Madrid is a team of movement. It is first 15 minutes of the first half, second 15 minutes of the first half, then what second half, you know, the same thing, first and last. It is
so maybe first 15 minutes,
you know,
our first half.
Real Madrid will love to control, and at the last 15 minutes of the same thing.
So you have first 15 minutes, Madrid.
Madrid. They will press.
And from 30, it goes to 45.
They will come in again because almost all the goal
45 to be 60. Madrid, yeah. Now 75 to
no. But in between, no. A one and a chrome near Semino. A one Real Madrid bet me a concede goals, no. Fancy. And Koma ye di any baby and then Namni and the identity. Any the quality of results are Real Madrid air share so mon sabeti miaka. And you free this particular encounter. When it comes to tactics, I believe the only way Real Madrid can beat Arsenal is to make sure some moment they will capitalize, but more capitalizing on almost a few minutes in them. No, or more to some concede. They'll go all out. Arsenal if lose. When it comes to individual quality, Real Madrid will individual quality. So we are top. But as a team, I don't think say Arsenal no who's also metric form. So the only way Real Madrid can qualify against Arsenal and Anadri. By say your money be now America can once and but I know how it will happen.
Madrid and qualify.
Fancy game no did not do so near na do so.
Ronaldo mu ye bi one more Twitter handle na make say X handle almost say Google Translate and translate 90 minutes at the Banabao long and call other language.
Fancy. I have seen Arsenal against City. I've seen Arsenal against Liverpool. I've seen Arsenal against Inter Milan. But here Arsenal against Paris Saint-Germain.
I feel my ball Champions League.
Fancy, it is not a joke. Team I bought 79 games. On conceded 3+ goals. 2 plus in first time. I know there's always a first time. No, because far send me by. I said there's also a first time for Arsenal to also eliminate. But fancy, in the history of the Champions League, the only one of the clubs are Real Madrid go for born to Martinez Arsenal. In 2006, en route to the final of the Champions League, Arsenal able goal almost koyi Real Madrid from Bernabeu. Enye Emirates. Bernabeu one omo koyi omo film. Real Madrid is the best club in the world when it comes to the Champions League. No doubt about it. But it to be a moment far assembling to baby assembly da. Me fa who emmening kase me medical kase say me Mrs. Obian time obia.
Okay.
Obian time obia. Ono na ke ko say 3-0 la ko be ka so be fi ba be she no.
Whoa, Mike.